Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront updates and another monthly Patreon Q&A. This is a series where I basically answer my Patreon's questions as a thank you for their support. And some of them will be watching this live, the Padawan Plus Patreons. So hello to Blue Eyed Viking who is in the chat. As you know, it's probably pretty hard with the time zones, which is why we usually just get a couple of them in the chat. test, Stormtrooper falls off shelf. Yeah, if any of you have watched my old... it might have been my 50k video, which I think is the one where I accidentally, my Stormtrooper basically fell down behind me, which was kind of funny. But yeah, I have collected some questions in advance, and if you're interested in becoming a Patreon and supporting me, as it helps out a ton. I can't thank all of you enough for the support. So I will leave a link in the description below for that. Hello, Blue Eyed Viking again. So yeah, I will jump into some questions right away. And just quick note, the gameplay in the background is pre-recorded because I want to focus on the questions here and not the gameplay. So this is just basically gameplay that I've rendered out to one big video. And yeah, oh, Blue-Eyed Viking is Noah. Yeah, I thought so, but you changed your name. So yeah, first question is from Brandon. Do you think there is a chance they will ever give us leaderboards? In this game, no. There's just no way. That's got to be very low down on their priority list. I don't even think Battlefield 1 has that. At least not officially. I'm not sure. Possibly in the next game, depending on if they want to make it more competitive. But I can guarantee you that it's not coming to this game. That just doesn't make sense. Although I think it would be very cool to kind of compare to other people. I mean, they do have some sort of leaderboards, since you can see your friends' times on the missions. So it's like, they have the functionality for it, and I would love to see more of that. That would be pretty cool. So yeah, the next question is from Justin. What is your favorite loadout right now? How about best loadout for kills, KD, or the funniest ones? If we're talking about, it's obviously I've changed my loadout a lot depending on the map and game mode and situation. But just generally speaking, as I've mentioned a lot before, I really like using just the Bacta Bomb, Adrenaline Stim, and Jump Pack. Because I like just being able to survive for a long time, and usually combined with the bodyguard trait. Sometimes Berserker, it depends on how open the map is. If there's a lot of explosives, I think bodyguard is kind of a necessity to be able to make sure that you won't die from secondary fires and stuff like that. And then about highest for KD, I think that's probably my... For just kills, you could have something explosive and not really care if you die or not. But if you want to have KD ratio in particular, I think it's really good with the loadout I just mentioned, because you will not die very much. Funniest loadout, that's a hard one. I think using something like that's a very hard one. I think shotgun, definitely. Shotgun together with something like either cooling cell or focus fire, and then maybe the scatter gun if someone pops a shield, and then let's say either Bacta Bomb or a grenade. I really love using those kind of loadouts, especially on outer rim maps. That is definitely one of my favorites. Noah asked in the chat, what is your favorite city? Oof, that is a very hard question. Can I say Stockholm, because I've lived here my whole life, and every time I go to another city I think wow, it's really cool here. But I still really like Stockholm. Some people go to other places and they feel like, oh, I want to move here. But I've never really felt that way. I've been to countries like Thailand and the US and places that I really enjoy. It's a nice change. But I always feel like I want to get back to Sweden. I love Sweden. I like Stockholm. It might be a boring answer, but I really enjoy Stockholm. Simple as that. So a question from Jorge. In the big picture, what is your favorite aspect of DICE Star Wars Battlefront? What is your biggest disappointment? Favorite aspect? I would have to say the gameplay. That's gonna surprise some people. It's gonna be like, oh, that's what it failed or whatever. But the thing is that it fits perfectly for me. It might not be the best and intuitive, what is it called? Yeah, you know what I mean. Gameplay, but for me it fits perfectly. I mean, if you watch my videos before the game was out, and like, oh, I want to have a customization system where I can freely customize, I want it to be very much run and gun. That is exactly what we got, and I really like that. fits perfectly for me. I mean, I can't, of course, graphics and sound and stuff like that are very important, and they are perfect in this game. But I've never been someone that cares too much about that. I see it the first couple of times, like, oh wow, this is so amazing. But then when I've played a couple of hours, all I care about is really the gameplay. And another aspect I forgot to mention is definitely the heroes. It is such a huge step up from the old games. The heroes are just look and act amazing, obviously, but they play so nicely. I love how they have different types of unique abilities that makes them very different to each other. It's not like all lightsaber heroes. Well, we only have two, of course. It's not like they're in the same. And yeah, heroes is definitely a big aspect. And what is your biggest disappointment? That is probably that there's no Clone Wars and no campaign. I think I would have to say that, actually. That might be... It's like, I could understand that they wouldn't have Clone Wars in this game, but if the next game turns out to be only The Force Awakens, then it kind of ties in. It's like in general with Battlefront. I mean, we need a good Clone Wars Battlefront game. That is probably my biggest disappointment. I mean, we don't know. It might be Clone Wars in the next game also, but I doubt it. So yeah, that is one of my biggest disappointments. You should set up a Patreon TeamSpeak so monthly so you can talk to us. Yeah, I was actually thinking about setting up a Discord instead so we can chat, because it's hard for me to like make calls and stuff. I barely have time for that myself, so having something like Discord could work out very well, because then I can jump in and respond to you in the chat whenever I feel like, whenever I have time. So that might be something I will set up. It's a good idea. Let me see. I have a question from Martin. Seeing Battlefield 1 and how much content they added to and the in-game server browsers, and how the campaign was done well, do you have hope that the next Battlefront will do just as well as Battlefield 1 did? Yeah, the main thing is that Battlefield is a franchise they've built up for so long. They've had time to like improve it every single time, which is something they haven't had a chance with Battlefront. So I think it's definitely going to be a lot better the next game, and it's going to take all the feedback and all the complaints on the first one and make that better. Like a campaign, I would definitely think they will have. Hopefully from, Motive are probably working on the campaign. That's something I really hope. So it's and server browsers, I really hope they will have a server browser. That could be very necessary, and they could do it like in Battlefield 1, where they have both in-game server browsers and a quick match feature, because then it pleases everyone. So that's something I think would work very well. A question from Jorge: Do you think we will see Ahsoka again? Spoilers for if you haven't watched the Rebels series, of course. Otherwise, skip ahead a minute or something. But yeah, after the fight with Vader, I definitely think she will come back. It does just not. She's too much of a popular character to just kill her off. And even if they did kill her, not like that. It's gonna be a way where people know, okay, she's dead. She won't be coming back. This was way too open to actually be a proper ending for her. So I really think she will come back, but probably maybe late this season or even the next season or something like that. She might come back as some sort of like savior in a situation where they think they're doomed and she jumps in. I also heard about some very cool speculation that maybe she's stuck on Malachor and kind of becomes not a Sith, but something in between, although she's already like a Grey Jedi-ish. But you know what I mean, influenced by the dark side. It's hard to say, but I think she will definitely return. Another question from Jorge. If someone was starting out in Star Wars Battlefront right now, what's the 2 to 3 tips you would give him/her? One generic tip is just to shoot hip fire almost all the time, as much as you can, because you don't get any you don't get any advantage of zooming in, other than the fact that you will see them further away. And you can use a berserker trait with it. But then on top of that, make sure to move around all the time, roll sideways, jump around, because none of that affects your accuracy. So just move and make yourself as hard target as possible all the time, and shoot people. And then of course unlock the TL, at least right now, unlock the TL50, unlock the E4, because they are really good at close and long range, and get the Briar pistol if you're playing Walker Assault, because it is gonna wreck the AT-ATs and other vehicles and help out your team a lot. So get those 2 weapons ASAP. That would be my top 2 tips, I think. Oh, Patrick McRae is also here. Give us some kind of sign when you're done talking about Rebels. Okay, I am done, Patrick. I don't know if you can see that. How do I make a sign? I am done now. You can. I've checked switch question. I don't know. Had to mute the video. Yeah, I'm not caught up on season 3. Okay, well, this is no spoilers for season 3. But it's too late if it's already muted the video. How old were you when you decided on going game development? I did never really decide for it. It was kind of like when I was done with when I was looking into what I was going to study. I liked programming, and I thought if I could mix that up with games, that's perfect. If I could, because then I can program games, you know. So it's never been a huge passion for me to make games. I love games, but not to make them. I don't feel like I'm enough. What is it called? I don't have good enough, what's it called, creativity to make games myself. I would, of course, if I'm gonna code something, someone tells me, okay, code this, I'd rather work on Battlefront than I would on just some sort of banking system, you know. So of course games would be cooler, but we'll see. Whenever I will try to make work with YouTube as long as I possibly can, and then I will move on to possibly coding and game development. We will see. What Brandon asks, what is your favorite and least favorite game mode? Favorite, I think Extraction, actually. I really love that game mode. Death Star Battle Station is probably the coolest and most cinematic game mode that is fun to play like every now and then, but for something with replayability, I would say Extraction. And least favorite, I would actually have to say Cargo. Not because I don't like the implementation of it, but because I've never really liked capture the flag in any games. Or maybe actually fight the squadron when I think about it, because I think that's very boring. I hate flying in all games. I hate it in Battlefront, Battlefield, the old Battlefront games. I just think it's boring, and I'm not that good at it. I mean, I can be top of the team, but I just think it's boring to fly in games in general. So probably fight the squadron, then Cargo. So next up we have a very interesting question that I was very intrigued when I read, because I completely didn't really realize this. And basically it's from Barfu. He says, in Battlefront 2 the clone troopers always knew that they had to betray the Jedi someday, and in most cases they felt terrible about it. And here's some spoilers for Clone Wars, just heads up for that. In Clone Wars, they had an organic chip that they were unaware of until Order 66 was done. I always thought that the BF2 version was more tragic, even though it's not canon. Do you think the Clone Wars version is an improvement to the story? I actually went back and watched the old campaign cinematics from Battlefront 2 to kind of remind myself, and I didn't realize how dark they were. I'm gonna make a video separately on this because I thought it was such a really interesting topic. So if someone else uploads that video, you know it's stolen from me. I'm just kidding, but I will make a video about that pretty soon. Because they basically say stuff like, when they talk about how what's her name again? How Ayla Secura saved them on Fallujah. They said something like, yeah, she saved us all, but none of us could dare look her into her eyes. I hope her death was swift because she deserved that much. Things like that. They knew all the time that they were supposed to kill them. And after watching the movies, it's kind of understandable because they don't really develop much of a relationship. But in the Clone Wars, they are almost like a family, and you're like, how the hell could they just, with a flick of the finger, kill all the Jedi? But that chip explained everything, and I really like that explanation. I think it's better than in Battlefront 2, although I really like the one in Battlefront 2 as well, because it's a very interesting way of seeing it. And besides, although they are clones, they are still humans. It would be very hard for tens of thousands of them to hide such a thing from the Jedi. So the thing with the chip makes more sense, to be honest, although I really like the Battlefront 2 version. So yeah, I love coding. It's one of my favorite things to do. Yeah, coding is very. I think it's very interesting. If someone hasn't tried out programming and they like computers, I really suggest you to try it out because it is very fun and it's not that hard. At least not the basic level. Brandon asks, do you see yourself sticking with this game all through 2017 until Battlefront 2 comes out, or will you move on to other online games? For my channel, I will probably stick to Battlefront. Maybe some random videos here and there, but mostly Battlefront and Star Wars stuff. Because I think I still enjoy the game, so I will probably still enjoy it half a year from now. Although I will probably play other games personally, like some Battlefield 1, a little bit of H1Z1, Borderlands with friends. It's the kind of games I play off my channel. But I will probably still continue to play Battlefront EA for a while, and especially live stream and all that kind of stuff. And of course, it's gonna be very nice to like analyze every little detail and discuss what we think could come in the next game. And of course, they're probably gonna release snippets of, I don't know, trailers, teasers, and all that kind of stuff. This game, they released the first trailer, was it 3 years ahead? And then first gameplay cinematic 2 years, I think, 1.5 year, and then full-on gameplay half a year before. So they're probably gonna start pumping out marketing content fairly soon, next year, I hope. And then I will go back and kind of play this and analyze and all that kind of stuff. A question from Noah: did you feel like English is your first language as you do your job in English? No, definitely not. I mean, I speak Swedish 10 times better than I speak English. I still think I need a lot of improvement for English. You guys know my pronunciation is often not the best. That's very hard to kind of adjust. The problem is that I don't really speak a lot of English in conversation. I do chat with a lot of people daily, like Star Wars Explained, Alex, and other people that I talk a lot with, but I don't talk a lot with a conversation with my mouth, so to say. So that's something I need to improve because I mostly script my videos. But I do get a lot of improvement from streaming and doing stuff like this, of course. But it's definitely not my first language. That would be weird because I speak Swedish with a lot of people daily, face to face. Jorge asks, what is the next subscriber milestone video you are planning to do? 120k, 150k? I'm not sure really. And I'm not sure what to do exactly. I might do something like, I will definitely do some milestone live streams because that's something I'm so glad you guys are enjoying the live streams because I'm enjoying them a lot. So I will want to do more of those, and maybe every 10k I could do like a 5-hour special, and then 150k I'll do another 10 or 12-hour special and stuff like that, with some giveaways included. It's a lot of fun, so that's something I can consider doing. And if I get a good idea for a milestone video, I might do that as well. But right now I prefer doing like milestone live streams actually. So yeah, Jorge, another question, Halloween themed. If you could dress up as any Star Wars Battlefront current character for Halloween, who would you dress up? Who do you think would be most likely to take candy from children? I think those questions kind of go into each other because I would probably pick Palpatine. He's pretty hard to be on Halloween. You need to either have a face mask or make some very good old man face paint, which I'm planning to do now for Halloween because I'm going to a Halloween party. I already have a Sith robe, which you probably have seen in my when I've been to like Star Wars Celebration. I just need to put it on with the hood, make some sort of good face paint, and it's still gonna look decent, I guess. But he would probably steal candy from children as well. I think those questions kind of go into each other. Otherwise, if I could dress up as any Star Wars Battlefront character with some really good, what's it called, ballistic gel, I don't know, or like what's the word for this material you use for real advanced masks? Basically 9-nub. I would love to have a super realistic 9-nub pancake face cosplay or whatever you call it, where I can actually move the mouth and that kind of stuff. That would be awesome. So yeah, that I think is all the questions for today, unless the chat has anything else they want to ask me. Again, a huge thank you to all of my Patreons. I really appreciate your support. It means a lot to me. And I hope you guys are enjoying these Q&As. And of course, this will be posted on my Patreon now that it's recorded, so all my Patreons can see it. And then about a day later, it will be posted to all my subscribers, because I want everyone to always get all the content. Although I like to give my Patreons a bit of a extra perks, basically, such as answering the questions. How tall are you? You felt massive compared to me. I was like 5 foot when I met you, but now I'm like 5'2". Oh yeah, I actually met Noah on Star Wars Celebration, which was really cool to meet one of my most dedicated subscribers. I don't know feet, actually, foot or whatever. I am 187 centimeters, so that's pretty tall. Actually, I can do a conversion here for all of you Americans watching this. It is 6'13", so that's how tall I am. Tall and skinny, basically. I like my whole what's it called? All my relatives. No, but yeah, I'm pretty tall. Swedes in general seem to be pretty tall, because I don't feel super tall among my friends. But as soon as I like go abroad to events or stuff like that, like if I'm in Thailand, it's like, oh, everyone's so short here. my cousin is actually even taller than me, and he went to, I think it was China, and everyone just looks like, oh my god, he's so tall. I actually have one friend, my gymnasium, like the secondary upper high school, who was, let me see, I need to convert that. I think he was actually 7 feet 2 or 7, what was, yeah, 7 feet 2 basically. So he was really tall, even for Swedish measurements. So I can imagine if he went to somewhere like China, people would be, oh my god, like so amazed. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you have any feedback on this video and how to improve it for the next time, make sure to let me know in the comments below. And for Patreons, I will see you live the next month, and I'll make sure to probably set up that Discord server pretty soon and send out the link on the Patreon page. So thank you very much for watching. Oops, there we go. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.